Donald Trump's immigration crackdown continues with raids across South Florida and one raid in Wilton Manors, leading to a confrontation with federal agents. Local 10's Christian De La Rosa is joining us live with a story you will only see here on 10. Christian.
Louis, it certainly caused quite a ruckus out here. This happened at a site along Wilton Drive, and the video you're about to see is raising a lot of questions.
Get off! Get off! Get off! Why you hear me? Why you hear me? Don't ever hit. Okay, don't touch me. Okay, get off.
If you see any people like Spanish, they look straight right away, like we hiding something.
The subcontractor in this scuffle with officers at the scene asking us to protect his identity. He's now afraid of retaliation from law enforcement.
Okay, yo estoy grabando ahora porque aquí están entrando a una propiedad privada.
The man saying ICE agents showed up at his site Friday morning. DEA and Wilton Manors police also seen here.
Somebody talk to him so he can see the order.
Agents taking two men into custody. The subcontractor, who says he is legally documented in this country, says agents asked for everyone's identification, including his.
Once they had the person they needed, why do you need everybody else's ID?
General contractor Jeb Schaefer says things escalated when the subcontractor tried to grab the cell phone from one of the men who was cuffed. Schaefer claims law enforcement was trying to gain access to it.
They took the gentleman's phone and tried to put it in his face to open the phone up and get into his phone.
Hey, you're not listening.
It was just, I was taken back. And again, the aggressiveness of one agent, I think, was just over the top.
Unless you as a police officer come to me and articulate why you want to look at my phone or show me a warrant or show me something signed by a judge, you're not looking at my phone.
Attorney Joe Lemieux stresses whether you are in the country legally or illegally, you have right.
You have the right to ask that officer, why do you need my ID? Am I being charged with any crime at this time? If they don't have the answer to that question, if they don't have any paper saying that they're looking for Mr. So-and-so, then I don't have to show them my ID.
So it is still unclear if the agents actually had some form of warrant or paperwork when they showed up at the site, which was on private property. Again, they took two men into custody. I can also tell you that a city official put out a statement on social media clarifying that this happened unbeknownst to the Wilton Manors Police Department and that officers only showed up at the scene only to assist. Live in Wilton Manors, I'm Christian.
They're gonna pull up on everybody. Let me see your documents, right? This is happening in my area too, and a couple other areas. You know, people reach out to me every day, say, "Hey, I saw your video. You know, you 100% right. I'm a rehabber. You know, I'm a general contractor. I'm a subcontractor, and my workers either haven't been showing up, or ICE pulled up and pulled them because they didn't have any documentation. So they locked them up to investigate them, or they saw that they aren't, you know, here legally, and they're getting them up out of here." Now, like I said in previous video, this is going to cause the price of labor to go up. Now, that's good for, you know, Americans or laborers, you know, subs that, you know, want to pick up this extra work that charge a little bit more, but it's bad for the consumer, and it may be bad for the GC, right? Depending on the work they're doing. You know, they're going to get past, they're going to have an added cost, and if they've already given the you know, whoever they're working for a number for the job that they're doing, you know, it's kind of hard to go back and say, hey, I got to charge you more unless there was an unforeseen problem, you know, like you ran into some issues that you didn't know about the project. But, you know, because you're short on labor, it's kind of hard to pass that number on, you know, to whoever's paying you to do the job. Right now, this is going to affect the housing market everywhere. The cost of labor is going to go up. Depending on what goes on with the tariffs, the price of materials could possibly go up too. But again, this is unfortunate, you know, but for Americans, it is fortunate because you can get paid top dollar to do labor work. And it's obvious they're doing some sort of rehab because you can see the demolition on the inside of the property. But this is going to cause an effect that's going to get passed to the consumer. You know, I had a buyer recently that said, woo, thank God I didn't buy or get a home built because I could have probably been delayed, which means I would have had to pay more in rent, possibly extend my lease, pay a higher month to month while I'm waiting on my home to get finished due to the labor shortage, right? So it's going to be a domino effect that's going to fall onto people that are, trying to buy homes, whether, whether it's a flipped home or a home being built. And some of these builders they're losing, laborers to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So like I said, this is going to cause the market to crash up. And, as interest rates come down, it's going to make the market even more competitive for buyers. So once you have the competition and then you have the lack of labor, what do you have? You have a crash up. Prices are going to go up. They're going to skyrocket once again. Like I said previously, we're going to be just like Canada. We're going to be just like the UK. Average home, 700,000 to $1 million. I get people that comment on this channel all the time that are in Canada, that are in the United Kingdom, and say, "Hey, you guys are lucky because those homes that you have for $400,000 or $500,000 are $1 million plus where we are, and the average person can't afford them. We have to rent an apartment or a condo or whatever." But again, it's something that it's going to have a ripple effect on everybody that most people won't see until down the line, unfortunately. But because, I'm in the game, I'm a real estate agent. So I'm seeing this in real time. I have a lot of partners, friends, business associates that are subs, GCs that, work on homes. And, it's happening to them too. So, they're having to go and, scramble to find somebody to finish jobs, and it's costing them more, and it's cutting into their pockets, right? And, nobody really foresaw it going down like this. But at the end of the day, it's something people have to deal with. And again, that cost will get passed on to the consumer. That's just business. It's America. It's a capitalistic society. We get passed costs on everything, right? Including the money we borrow. The Federal Reserve may get the money may lend the money out to the bank at 2%, but they're going to charge us 7% on it, right? So it's just a part of the game. And it's kind of unfortunate that the consumer has to pay for this. And again, I understand both sides, right? The general contractor wants to get the work done as cheap as possible to, make as much money. But at the same time, the consumer doesn't want to have to, pick up that cost because they're just trying to buy a home to live in. I definitely, can sympathize with both sides. I'm a business owner myself. I've flipped homes. I've hired laborers. I've hired, subs. I've done just about it all in real estate. I've never actually built a home, but I've flipped plenty of them to know, the effects that this can have on the bottom line. And, something like this, depending on the size of the job, can make or break a deal, most definitely. And really have you doing a lot of work for a little bit of money, if that makes sense. To all my rehabbers out there, you know what I'm talking about. And here's the other thing. A lot of these raids are going down in cities that are what I call in like recovery mode, right? So like Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, right? And this is going to accelerate the prices in those cities. Although those cities are recovering from previous financial disasters, it's going to accelerate those prices even more. I'm starting to see homes in Baltimore like tick up, like, so, you can get in a decent neighborhood for like 250, but they're starting to tick up 275, 280, 300. It's starting to inch its way up a lot faster than what I thought. I think the average growth in Baltimore is like 2% per year. But if something like this keeps going on, and in Baltimore, a lot of people use undocumented workers for a lot of the heavy lifting, especially like the demolitions and, some other things. But it's going to essentially slow down the process and increase the cost. But I'm definitely interested in hearing what you all think. Let me know what's going on your side of the world. Is this happening where you are? This right here is South Florida. I'm in the DC, Maryland area. It's definitely some of that going on up here. And I've heard just about, Texas and a few other states where this is actually going down. Let me know what you all think. Let's get this money.